What's happening? Welcome to Reezy Does It. I am Tee Reezy. Today we're going to discuss Savage Life by Webbie versus Badazz by Boosie. These are two very dope albums. Two of my favorite albums ever. Two of my favorite rap albums ever. Webbie released Savage Life in 2005. It did well. Very well. Boosie released Badazz in 2006, which did very well too. Both were released under Trill Entertainment. The CEOs of Trill would be Turk and Mel, two well-known, notorious Baton Rouge fellas. So, also, Trill on the roster, they had Fox, Big Head, The Dome, Dr. Lil Fat, of course, Boosie and Webbie. Trill has put out some good music, some real good music. Around the Wipe Me Down era, I thought Trill was about to take over. But Trill is affiliated with Pimp C. Turk and Mel know Pimp C. Don't ask me how, but use your imagination maybe. But yeah, so before Boosie and Webbie released these solo projects, they had two duo albums together, Ghetto Stories and Gangsta Music. Both of these albums, dope. Pimp C was on Ghetto Stories, if I'm not mistaken, and Bun B was on Gangsta Music, a song called Show Your Tattoo. Gangsta Music, that was a hard album. Both of these albums were hard, but Gangsta Music, that was a real good album. Didn't get its just due. But you know what? Speaking of Gangsta Music, I'm going to tell y'all something real quick. That year that Gangsta Music was released, it's an award show called the SCA Awards. It was in Nashville at the time. And my album, Slow Grind, was up against Boosie and Webbie, Gangsta Music. And guess who won for Album of the Year? Boosie and Webbie. What you think? But anyway, let's get on into it. First, let's talk about Webbie with this Savage Life. Webbie took the South by storm with this album. One of my homeboys used to always tell me that Webbie was better than Boosie. Lil Rose used to say that all the time. And I would go back and forth with him. But when that Savage Life came out, I seen what he was talking about. So you got songs like G Shit, Tell Me What You Know About Me, Webbie. G Shit, he came out swinging from the jump. How You Ride, Like That, like Beyonce, like Trina. Yeah, then you got Give Me That with Bun B. I Got That with Boosie. What Is It? Which is one of my favorite songs ever to come from the Trill fam. That is in my car, is in my clothes, that make the hoe wanna fuck for sure. Is in my style. Dang, I said it wrong. But you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's that jump right there. And then you got Bad Chick, Retarded. Man, Webbie, a lot of people will say this album is better than Boosie Badazz. But both of them are very good albums. Very good albums. Probably these two albums and Gangsta Music are probably my favorite releases from Trill. So next, let's go on and get into Boosie Badazz. So you got songs like When You Gonna Drop, the first song. Boosie coming out hard from the jump, especially Set It Off. Set It Off, man. That's a hard one right there. They said the year the Rams won the Super Bowl, they said Odell Beckham had them listening to Set It Off in the locker room. You got Zoom with Young Jock. That's What They Like, I Remember. Soft or Hard, My Struggle, which is one of my favorite songs by Boosie ever. What he say? When I borrowed, I gave back. When it was bill time, I made stacks. 110 to 150 and shake back. The baby mama drama made me wanna holler. Plus, I lost all my ghetto role models. This is my struggle, man. Yeah, then you got songs like My Nigga and Exciting with Webbie. You know, this when this album dropped, it took a little while for this album to grow on me. But this is one of my favorite albums ever. That Boosie Badazz. Um, and you know, Boosie did a bit for a little while. You know, I know y'all done heard about Marlo Mike and the role he played with Boosie. You know, you can't tell Boosie's story without mentioning Marlo Mike somewhere down the line. But, you know, Boosie got some songs that he really saying a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Around this Marlo Mike area called what is it? Boss Man and Gangster Nick, about his homeboy Nick, Lil Finn, that got shot some years ago, and just paying homage to him, and then on that Boss Man song, Marlo Mike actually rapping on the song. You know what I mean? So those are some songs y'all might want to check out. And there was a guy named Nussy from Baton Rouge. It was, said that him and Boosie had some beef. And, Nussy came up dead. And Marlo Mike's name came up regarding it. So, yeah, Nussy put out an album called Nussy Badazz and took Boosie head off and put his head on the Boosie Badazz cover and put them out and sold them. But Baton Rouge is a wild city, man. Wild city. About 100 miles from New Orleans. Yeah, but it gets overshadowed by New Orleans a lot. But a lot of talent has came out of Baton Rouge. And then you got Boosie brother. He going on a lot of platforms. Him and Boosie ain't seeing eye to eye right now, But let me get back on track to these albums. So both of these are really great albums, man. Two of my favorite albums ever released. But if I had to pick an album, I would pick a motherfucking tie. Nah, it's hard, but Webbie's Savage Life is super dope. Left a huge mark on the rap scene in the South and on the nation when it dropped. But you know what, man? Track for track, song for song, I might have to give it to Boosie with the Badazz album, man. And I know a lot of people ain't gonna like that, but I said what I said, you feel me? And I thank y'all for tuning in today. And before I get out of here, guess what? Man, you should have known by now. Reezy does.